Today I'm going to show how I do my nails. I'm not a manicurist, I'm not an expert, but I'm going to show how I paint my nails. Now, before I begin, I always make sure that I've trimmed my nails and filed them nice and smooth, and that I use a cuticle remover, and make sure that I keep the cuticles pushed back. And then the other thing I want to make sure I do is use a base coat, a clear, hardening base coat. And I use the base coat to protect my nails from the nail polish so that they don't stain. Otherwise, even when I use remover, the polish stains my nails. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the clear base coat, just dab a little bit off, and you want to go one direction. You want to start at the back at the cuticle, and then you want to make sure that you brush towards the end of the nail. And if I get a little bit around the cuticle, that's okay because it's clear. And again, this protects the nail from the nail polish. The polish itself can be very harsh. Tap a little bit off. And again, I'll start at the back of the cuticle and I'll brush towards the front. And don't worry if you get just a little bit on the cuticle, because what this does is dry clear and protect the cuticle and protect the nail from the polish. And if you get the kind of clear polish that's a hardener, like Sally Hansen Hard as Nails, what that does is it actually hardens your nails. It protects them from chipping and breaking. So I like to apply a base coat. Start at the back, work my way front. Now, if you go to do the other hand, you want to be very careful that you don't touch your nails on your previous hand. Start at the back, work my way front. There. And a base coat, just one is enough. You don't need to do this twice. Because I'm also going to do my toes today, I'm going to go ahead and put the base coat on my toes at the same time. Now again, you want to be very careful that you don't touch any nails that are already painted with the base coat. There. Now I'm going to wait about 15 to 20 minutes, and I'm going to make sure that this base coat absorbs into my nails and hardens like it's supposed to. And while I'm doing that, I will make sure that I keep my toes up off the floor and I keep them separated. Now, something you can do to help keep your toes separated is you could use a soft foam hair curler, and you can place it between your toes beforehand to help keep your toes apart if you need to. Some girls need to, some don't. But you definitely want to keep them up off the floor, and you don't want to you want to use your hands, your fingers, and your toes as little as possible until they're completely dry. This will take about 15 to 20 minutes, and then I'll come back. Using the, I think this is Sally Hansen Hard as Nails. And by applying the base coat, what I've done is I've made sure that the nail polish, the red nail polish that I'm going to use, doesn't stain my nails. That way when I go to remove the polish, I can completely remove it. And in that manner, I can put a completely different color on at that point. My nails are protected. I'm going to apply Crimson Red. This is by Pure Ice. And Crimson Red is very, very bright red. It's kind of metallic so that it reflects light quite a bit. Now, before I can use this, there's a little ball bearing inside, and I have to shake it really well to make sure it's good and mixed. If it's not mixed well, your nails will look terrible. Again, I'm not an expert at this anyway, so I need all the help I can get. Once it's good and mixed, what I'm going to do is the same way with the base coat, only I'm going to be a little more careful that I stay on the nail itself. And I'm going to apply, starting at the back by the cuticle, I'm going to apply the color, and I'm going to brush forward towards the end of the nail. I'm a little bit nervous because I'm on video, but I'll try not to shake too bad. And if you make a little bit of a mistake, you can use a plastic tool to help scrape away the edge and make it look a little more even. But you want to do as little of that as possible because it's a lot of work to make them look professionally painted. Again, I'm not a professional, so it's very difficult. Now what you want to do is you want to resist the urge to put on several coats at one time. The thicker you put it on, it may look better at first, but it'll lump up and smear, and if you bump anything, then it will definitely get marked. So you'd like to put it on a little bit thin with the excess, because you'd rather have it thin, not thick. A good quality polish will look the same color in the bottle on your nail when you first apply it. If it looks really thin and not quite the same color in the bottle, then it's probably not a quality polish. You're going to find that the colored nail polish takes much longer to dry, even if it's fast drying, than the clear. The clear dries much quicker. Back towards the front, and I'm going to try to make sure that I go nice and slow. If you rush it, you'll make a mistake. That's just the way it is, so take your time. And it's more about placing and a slight brush, slight pull on the nail, than it is about painting like a fence. This is more like art, okay? Much of this you're going to touch up with the second coat. An amateur little sissy trying to paint her nails. And I'll clean this up later on. and I'll dab it in the, I'll pour some polish remover on it, and then without touching my nails, I'll very carefully take that cotton ball and I'll swab my hand to clean it off. You could also use tissue, but when you're doing that, to protect your nails, you want to make sure that you don't get any polish on them. The polish doesn't remove it very easily. It's actually quite difficult to remove nail polish, even with polish remover. But it can mar it. It can make it look dull and terrible. So you want to be careful you don't do that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and wait 15 to 20 minutes and let it dry thoroughly. It must be thoroughly dry. If you're not sure, then it's not dry. Just wait. Wait another 5-10 minutes if you have to. The longest I'll wait is probably about half an hour. But I'll make sure that it is thoroughly dry. What you don't want to do is touch your nails while they're tacky. It will look horrible if you do. I finished polishing my fingernails, and I'm going to be very careful that I don't touch anything, because if they're still tacky, it will look terrible to touch them. So I'll wait until they're thoroughly dry. And I might wait 15, 20 minutes, maybe even a half hour, just to make sure, because it's no big deal to wait a little bit extra. But if you don't take that extra time to wait, and you just start polishing your toenails right away, what's going to happen is you'll mar your fingernail polish. So go ahead and wait. Alright, it's been about 20 minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and do my toes now. Remember, there's a base coat on here. A little bit of the excess off. I want to brush front to back. A little bit too much on there. Brush a little off. If you get too much on there, what I do is just, I kind of let the polish go where it's going to go. And then when I can, I brush forward. What I don't want to do is push too much polish around. You want to pull polish, not push it. Back to front. And something I found is when I apply nail polish and I don't have it absolutely perfect like a professional, what I find is as I wear the polish and I take a shower each morning, or I go around and I do my daily routine, the edges that were kind of like mistakes tend to wear off, and they look better the second and even the third day. And again, that's because, I'm just a sissy trying to learn to do these things. I'm not a professional, and so I'm still learning, but mostly, even if I were a professional and I made a mistake, it's nice to know that just going about my normal routine, that my nails will just look better every day. Getting I'm a little nervous, mostly because I've never done this on film before. The excess polish has a tendency to wear right off. And within a day or two, my nails actually look better. And if that happens here again, and it will, I'll go ahead and video that and you can see the result after a day or two. compared to after I first get it done. I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, you mean I have to wear this polish for more than a day? And the answer is, well, yes. In fact, here's the good news. If you wear nail polish on a regular basis, it's a lot less work to keep it up than it is to do it the first time. So, most girls will wear nail polish pretty much every day of their lives because it's less work to wear it every day. If you had to take it off and put it on every day, it would be very difficult to maintain. Now, if you can afford to go to a nail salon, you can get gel nails. And let me give you a word of warning. Gel nails do not chip. They do not chip at all. And it's very difficult to get the gel color off of your feet and off of your fingers. So once you put on gel nails, those gel nails are there to stay. They can last 2 to 6 weeks with a little bit of backfill. And even then, they're still going to look gorgeous compared to using regular nail polish, even after 6 weeks. So a lot of girls will wear gel nails, have a professional put them on, although I suppose it's possible to do at home. I've never done it. And or, you know, if you go to the beach, that's right, as a sissy, if you go to the beach, the sand will wear off your toenail polish and your fingernail polish very quickly, especially on your toes. So a lot of girls will wear gel nail polish from a salon. You can go to the beach all week and your nail polish will not come off. So it's highly recommended, but it costs more money, $35 to $50. Well, I'm going to go ahead and touch up my fingernails while I'm waiting for my toenails to dry. This is a very high quality polish. It's made by Pure Ice, and Pure Ice polish is made to go on in a single coat, but I like to touch up just to make sure. And the second coat that you're putting on is just a touch up. It doesn't really require a whole lot of polish. It's just to even out the polish that you already have. Especially if you accidentally bump something or anything like that. And the second coat is what you use to repair that. Now, as you get better and better at this and make less and less mistakes, then you're ready to help somebody else do their nails, like your mistress. There we go. There. And I'll do the same thing. After about half an hour, I'll go back over my toenails and touch them up. Go back over my toenails after half an hour or so, and I'll touch them up. You can see that second coat really does a nice job of making my nails shine. Nails have been touched up the second time, and my fingernails are completely dry, and everything's just as it should be. Then I'll go back through and I'll clean up around the edges with a little plastic cutting tool. And then after I've done that, I'll take my top coat, the base coat that I used, and I'll go back over it. Now, a little warning, if you use a top coat over your nail polish, then what's going to happen is it's going to make it very difficult to take off with polish. But your nails will look beautiful and they'll last much longer. And I've been very careful, and my toes and my fingers are dry. So now I'm going to apply a top coat. Now this is very important that you only put a single layer, only brush once in each spot. If you keep brushing and keep brushing and keep brushing, you'll start to take off the colored polish. So you just want to put this on once and very quickly. And what this does, after it hardens, is it really seals in that color and makes them very shiny. Now, word of warning, once you put the top coat on and it hardens, you won't be taking off your nail polish for a while. Because even with polish remover, it is much more difficult to take off the multiple layers of base coat and 2 layers of color and the top coat. Once it hardens for probably an hour or two, it becomes very difficult to take this off, but not impossible. Without the base coat, your nails underneath will be stained, and that doesn't come off until it wears up over time. Again, I'm just going to put very quick single stroke brushes onto the color, because I don't want to take off the old coat. I want to leave the color intact. And what this will do is seal it in. Here we go. Here. You know, I don't think I actually checked to see if I have nail polish remover. That's a good question. I think I might not have any. And if I don't, I'll be wearing this out to get more. Here we go. Again, this part is pretty quick because we're not really painting so much. It's just adding a thin layer, invisible layer, a very shiny layer of hardener on top of your color. There. Bump there, so I'll brush a couple times to smooth out the bump. But I don't want to do it too much because it'll dissolve the color. And again, 15 to 20 minutes. I'll let this sit. And I'll practice not to touch anything. And you can see how that top coat really makes the color pop. And it really will prevent the nails from chipping or scratching or smearing. Even if you do the dishes, that top coat will go a long way towards keeping the color shiny. There we go. There we are. I went ahead, and I'll be very careful not to touch my shoes, but I brought out my heels, and you notice that they are pumps, but they're open-toe pumps. Now, a sissy should always wear open-toe pumps so that she can never hide her nails. Sissy really needs her mistress' permission to wear closed-toe pumps. But open-toe pumps are so much prettier and they show off her pretty nails. Yes, I know these are very high heel, but you learn to walk in them and you can show off your pretty feet. You can, in this better lighting, you can really tell just how shiny and smooth the nails look after I've applied the top coat. And that's what you want. And as a sissy, you can't hide your toes. Normally, I would be wearing pantyhose or stockings with shoes like these, and you can still see the toenails even through the pantyhose. But I thought you would like to see them just as they are. Right there. That's how I do my nails.